Alright boys, how's done?
All good, mate.
Good. Back to it. We've got three. No, did us a disservice. We've got 2 defeats to talk about. Fucking yeah.
Been brilliant.
Back to the good old days. Fucking yes. We've got something to talk about. We'll brush over United where we absolutely battered them and played brilliant. And we'll just focus on when we played shite. And actually, to be fair, against Celtic, the B team played actual brilliant. So, and we have to do a very public apology to that cheesy cunt as well. So, loads to talk about. What's been happening, Tam?
Not much. As you say, we had a good wee night last week on Thursday night, minus the result. But horny Thursdays are well and truly in full swing now.
Aye, well, we know what to call them. They can't be full horny hearts Thursdays because that's for the folk that are got at the games. So we'll just have to be the many horny hearts, like our cousins across the M8 or whatever. It'll just be diet horny hearts or whatever it is. Kev, what's been happening?
Not a great deal. It's been enjoyable watching Hearts getting back to their usual standards of getting beaten games, and then effectively going, "Didn't like this team anymore." That's great, loving it.
And we're talking about many Huns, and you're wearing an orange jumper. Is that for the game? Is that for the game tomorrow?
It just must be something to do with the lights here, mate. It's definitely not that colour.
All right, aye, well saved, bigot. Aye, so welcome back to This Is My Story, your unofficial Hearts podcast. As we say every week, we're not affiliated to football club. All of our opinions are our own and always miles off it. We'll briefly talk about the games that have went past, but we'll solely focus on the exciting European nights returning to Tynecastle on Thursday. This is Tuesday. We're recording this. We'll talk about the game Thursday, the excitement of it. Walked in memory lane with some of our favourite European nights. We've got a Tamdown with Kev, and we've got a new game called 4 and In. What's it called? 4 and In? Is that what you're calling it?
4 and In. Had to be. Aye.
You can explain all that in a minute, Kev. You can tell folk what it is. We'll go through our headlines for the week. You're sold at Tynecastle, Halkett injury, some transfer rumours, etc. I don't know if any's caught Gino's interview in the Evening News today as well. I thought he spoke quite well. We can talk about that, and then we'll obviously review Dundee United, Zurich away, and Celtic away, and then preview Zurich this Thursday. Sound good?
Definitely does.
We're just forgetting about the game on Sunday, are we?
Who are we playing on Sunday?
Fuck knows, to be honest.
I've gave up. But I went for 2. I almost said shows as well. I went for 2 episodes ago where we said forget about Europe and focus on the league. Today I couldn't give a fuck about the league. get to the Europa League. Let's get
St Johnstone. Let's
get the big dogs out the way. Let's get proper decent away days. Fuck the league. I didn't care. I've changed my mind. One crazy night in the Murrayfield. I've changed my mind. I want that every week. Cool. Right, Kev. I'll do a Tamdown first, and then you can tell us about 1.5 or whatever it's called.
No worries.
You're just going to change the name each time.
Worst keeper. That's what we're then.
That's it. So for Tamdown for this week, given we are possibly on the crest of Europa League, since qualifying, good one, Corbett. Hands in the air, Tam. So
I need a bit of handicap here. It's just me v Corbett. I'm fucked.
You are fucked. You are 100% fucked. So since qualifying for the group stages back in 2004, 2005, we have played 14 teams in Europe. So if it helps you, the game that we won to actually qualify for the group stages was against Braga. So it's effectively every team we have played since Braga, Tam. And that's in your period of actually following Hearts. So effectively, starting with last Thursday's opponents, I'll give you a hint, all the way back to the team after Braga. So to give you at least one, Tam, we'll start with you.
Zurich, please.
Zurich is the correct answer, Tam. Well done, mate.
We're just going backwards order then. Birkirkara.
Oh, you're going with Birkirkara. Okay. Tam?
Okay, Sparta Prague.
What was Sparta Prague, Tam? 2.
That is not in reverse order anyway.
It's definitely not in reverse order, Corbett. You're right.
Just leave it with me.
Internet FC.
Yeah, Internet. I'll give you Internet Talent. Corbs, well done. Tam?
Athens.
Stop just naming all the good ones.
Okay, he's going to it. Corbett?
Right, fine. If he's playing that game, I'll just wipe him out. Feyenoord.
Okay, he's definitely going to be fucked in shortly. Going to Tam?
What year did you say?
No, don't tell him.
2004, 2005, mate.
We spoke about it last week, so Basel.
Okay.
Basel.
Shaba Laszlo's team, French Varos or whatever they're called.
Yeah, French Varos. Well done, Corbs. Tam?
Fuck. Liverpool.
I was going to fucking say Tam.
Okay.
Jesus.
Right, Corbett.
Tottenham.
Now he's going to be absolutely upset.
Yeah, now I'm fucked. Like,
What's it to say about Dead Air?
Aye. We're getting a lovely view right up his nostril, so that's decent.
I'm going to actually have to pass, man. Passing.
You're passing. Okay, Corbett. Put me in misery.
Schalke? Do we play Schalke?
Yep, we played Schalke. We'll be back in the
it
group
was
stage.
before that.
At Murrayfield, wasn't it?
It was at Murrayfield.
It was a 5-team group, wasn't it?
Yep.
Bastard. Schalke would have been the only one I could have got. So, Corbett, just name them all. Go for it.
So there's 3 left. If that helps you any, Corbett.
It was Bordeaux before Braga, wasn't it? It was Penguin, right? So played Feyenoord, Schalke, Ferencváros, Bau. They were the 5 that were in the group, wasn't
Correct.
it? So we played. Did we play a team before we played Tottenham?
Yes. Remember being in Tottenham and meeting 2 boys who'd actually driven there in a car that they bought for 500 quid and then sold it for 750 on the way back.
Aye. Where was it? Like fucking.
Was it somewhere nice and sunny or something?
No, it was nice and sunny, but it wasn't somewhere nice. It was like Croatia or something like that, or something like that. It was that end of the world, wasn't it?
If it helps, I can give you what the country if you want. It helps you.
What was the country they're from?
Hungary.
Hungary. All right, okay.
Oh, aye.
Was that a French virus or for Hungary? Are they not?
They are, but it wasn't them.
Fuck, is it a pure mental name like Internet FC
It was
or
a weird
something?
name, aye. It was something strange.
It was a team called Pax.
Oh, aye, that was it, Pax, aye. That was right. Right, and 2 more? Are they pure teams?
One is, one isn't.
Have we missed a big? We missed a big.
You missed a big one. Missed a big one.
Right. Where have we missed?
Did we play somebody before Prague?
So I could tell you the season we played them was the 2009-2010 season, and the other one was the game before AEK Athens.
Aye. Was that a team where we ended up having to wear pure weird shorts, like blue shorts or something, or was that
something like that?
Was that Internet?
Could have been.
Did we play them at Murrayfield?
No, I believe we played them at Tynecastle, that one.
Did we? What did we play?
It's a sellout though, was it?
Why did we play Athens at Murrayfield then? Just for the money?
Just for the money, I think. It's that same season.
That's going to annoy me. So we beat them.
It's a country.
So they're going to be a big team, like.
We beat them 3-0 at home and drew 0-0 away.
Well, it's Champions League though, so.
So a Northern Ireland team or something.
Nah, I can give you the 2 countries if it helps. One is Croatia, and the other team are Bosnia Herzegovina. Sure, that's where they're from. Yep, it is.
Right. Try and Croatia. The big team must have been for Croatia, no?
Correct. Actually, could be playing in Champions League this week, I think, maybe.
Is it Haj Split or something like that?
You're very close, mate. Do you want me to give you it?
Aye, go for it.
Dinamo Zagreb.
Oh, Dino. That was right.
Yeah.
Aye. I was trying to remember because their badge is similar to Sparta.
That's right. It is very similar. And do you want the last one?
Aye, because
I'll probably be here all night.
I probably won't get it.
Saronki Brijeg.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Did they play in yellow and black?
Don't know if they play in yellow and black. AK Athens definitely do.
Aye, no. Oh, well.
That's annoying, actually. Then.
Aye, your arse.
Just got a really bad memory, man.
Aye,
So, Tam, to just let you know, you got 5.
Take it.
But Corbett got 6.
Only one. See, my handicap, if I'd got 2 in my favour, it would have been it.
Well, aye. Okay.
And to be fair, I aimed for the obscure ones rather than going for the shite bag ones, but it's fine. Okay.
What, like Spurs?
I'll give you that
Okay.
one. That was only because you chucked Liverpool there, and I was like, all right, sound, is that the path we're going down, is it? Right. Kev,
Okay.
Geez your 4 and 1.5 or whatever it is, pairs. Geez pairs.
So, nice and simple, hopefully. I'll give you, so we'll do it as 2 players every week. But I'll give you 4 words which link to a Hearts player. I'll give you an example to start with. I'll give you Nuneaton, winger, dreadlocks, and shagger.
Mate, you give us an example of this.
Yeah, so there's 4 words. Which player do you think it is?
Say them again.
So Nuneaton,
Yep.
winger, dreadlocks, shagger.
Ricardo Fuller.
I like where you're going
Gino,
with that.
mate. Gino, isn't it?
It's Gino.
Oh.
We did tell him for a whole 2.5 months to get up the road, Shagger. So
Aye, but I was trying to think, did Ricardo Fuller not play for some mad like non-league team or something like that, didn't he?
Was it no like the Jamaican team he played for was like something weird?
That was a weird name. I can't remember who it was, but I did have a weird name.
Right.
But
Okay.
yes,
So you get
it's
4
exactly
clues, and
that.
we've got to try and guess.
Correct. So
Right, okay.
your 4 clues. For the first player, we'll hopefully go nice and easy with the first one. It's Lanark, keeper, Hall of Fame, and 700 caps. So that's your first player.
700 caps.
700 caps. He played for 700 times for the club.
You don't get a cap for being in the club.
Well, he's still getting it. I'm giving it. Fucking king. So Lanark, keeper, Hall of Fame, and 700 caps. Or appearances, if you want to be take that particular title away from him, Tam, you bastard. But there you go. So that's your first one. The second one is Melbourne, Big Slim, the Whites, and South Korea.
Right. With Dave McPherson. Well, that's my guess.
Oh, you're giving a guess now. You don't want to wait till the end of the show. I nearly said show, bastard.
Yeah.
So, end of the episode, I'll give you the answers.
Right. Okay. So that's the 2 of them.
That is the 2 of them. So, first one, Lanark, keeper, Hall of Fame, 700 caps or appearances. And the second one is Melbourne, Big Slim, the Whites, and South Korea. There you go.
Sounds like some sort of Brexit chat to me.
It sounds very racial. Your big gammon. And your big gammon jumper on.
Fuck.
Cool. Well, that was fun, Kev. I do enjoy that. If they're sensible answers, then I'll be happy.
Okay.
I'll be happy with that. Headlines, obviously Thursday. It's all about Europa League. Tynecastle completely and utterly sold out for the visit of Zurich. Looking forward to it. When was the last time you were at a European game, Tim? At home?
That shitty Barcacara one. So yeah.
For what? Like Liverpool was the last time we had a decent.
That was a proper one, wasn't it?
A proper decent home game at Tynecastle under the lights, wasn't it?
Aye, definitely. And in all honesty, okay, the result wasn't the greatest that night, getting beat 1-0, but the actual performance that night I thought was pretty damn good. Don't know if that was because we could remember the season before and we got absolutely papped off his Spurs, but it's just the way it is. It
was hilarious watching Meditao boss our midfield with like Steven Gerrard in it, and John Sutton being like unplayable at Tynecastle. That's what is going on. What mad universe are we living in right this very second?
Dog test every single fucking one of them.
They scored an own goal, didn't they?
They scored for it was a deflection of Webster.
Aye. Like cut back or something, innit?
Aye.
Should be decent.
If Thursday's anything like that, wow.
As an atmosphere, are getting fucking beat by the Flames.
The atmosphere, man. Atmosphere was unreal that night, man. Unreal.
So obviously, thanks to everybody that came to the Murrayfield last Thursday. The idea was that we were going to do like a live podcast. So do a bit of chatting before the game, watch the game, and then do a bit of reaction after it. But when you show up to your own sort of event and you have to stand at the queue at McDonald's to get in, it kind of was like, oh shit. As soon as we got there, it was absolute carnage. They closed the gates. People were climbing the gates. People were climbing roofs. There was pyro. There was smoke bombs. So fair to say that all we did was get caught up in the atmosphere, sing songs, watch the game, and go home. Forgot today.
To be fair, the laptop overheated because it was an absolute sauna.
It was the sweatiest I've ever been. And you can blame Ando for ruining what would have been probably the best 2.5 minutes of limbs footage ever by recording from the GoPro straight to the laptop instead of recording to the GoPro, where we would have been able to watch the limbs without it looking like it was buffering on 1998 Wi-Fi. So, but thanks to everybody that came. Thanks to the guys at the Murrayfield. I know loads of stuff on the night didn't actually work out how they wanted. The big screen outside malfunctioned on the day, as did the second or the third screen inside malfunctioned as well because of the sheer volume. I think the capacity inside was 250, capacity outside was between 100 and 150, and I think conservative estimations we probably had about 600 people in the Murrayfield, and it was absolute carnage. So if they had 5
bar staff,
well, they had 5 bar staff on, but 3 of them had to work the door because people just kept coming and coming and coming, which again was just amazing. Thanks to everybody that came along. Next time, if we do it, depending on whether it's Conference or Europa League, we're going to plan on doing those nights for all of the away games. For the ones for, obviously, we'll be at some of the away games actual there in person as much as we can be. But for everybody that's left home, we will try and organise another watch along. We'll pick a venue and we'll go to it because it was a great night. It was a good atmosphere, and it was just a good thing. I imagine that the Murrayfield probably took more money than they'll take on even their busiest Saturday, even though it took an hour and 45 minutes to get a drink.
To be fair, they did run out of beer, so that's quite a good sign.
I think you've got to praise them for what they did do. I think they handled it pretty well, and come the penalty and the jugs were flying everywhere. That's another story.
Big Brexit Gammon talking about jugs.
To be fair, Kev was jumping about in front of that telly.
That's what happened to the GoPro.
His jugs were going everywhere.
That's what happened to the GoPro. It was a great night. Thanks to everybody that came along. Obviously, I was laughing when I was rereading the group chat like the day before when we were like shitting ourselves that only like us and 50 folk would show up or something. And then we got there, and did you and Brad had to beg to get in, didn't you, Tim?
Nah, Big Bad Brad's, well, that's hard to say. He walked up straight up to the door and was like, "We organised this event, let me in." And I was like, "All right, cool." Me being a wee shite bag, like 5 people behind was just like, "I'm with him," and walked to the front.
You just followed them a bit. So this Thursday, obviously, we're at home. We will put some information out tomorrow. We're thinking, with it being Europe and being a tradition, we are going to and hopefully have displays for the group games in terms of tifos and other things for the actual group games. But for this one, it was just too short notice to pull a tifo together. So we are thinking we just go down the traditional European night tradition of a mass twirly. So we'll put some stuff out to say we try and get in the stadium at least 10 minutes before kickoff, get the atmosphere going. My big thing is we've seen it there when we played in St. Gallen, so it wasn't where Zurich normally play, but basically played us in an empty stadium. It was like looking back on what it was like when we played in COVID times. I think that's going to be our biggest weapon on Thursday night, is how intimidating, how bouncing and how rocking Tynecastle should be. So quicker and earlier we're in, make it intimidating as we can, get right behind everybody, make sure that we have one of those fucking memorable European nights. We're going to be in the Shandon probably from about 4 or 5 o'clock. So if you want to come up, have a drink or whatever, again, the best intentions is we'll have sort of GoPros, some cameras, we'll do a bit of live interactions with everybody that's there, and then we'll walk down to the stadium and see what we can capture at the stadium or whatever. But looking forward to it. Should be a good laugh. Other headlines. Halkett, have we any timeline on how long he's going to be out for?
5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, I think is where we're sitting at this moment in time. There's definitely no way I think he'll be making the game on Thursday night, that's for sure.
No chance.
So it'll make an interesting element of how we set up the back three or back four, hopefully a back four. But we might not see, we might have Halkett and Benny getting back from injury at the same time.
Well, I'm laughing is that Benny was out for 6 weeks 6 months ago, so it's always good when it comes to Hearts, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd rather they just didn't tell us, to be honest. And
I just got on.
You know what? The floodlights go off, and just before we're about to kick off, and he's just there in the back line, man. That'd be class.
Well, we do actually. That's a good thing that we never talked about. We'll be making an appearance. Will the big screens be on Thursday, and will we get our disco lights, or will we keep it for the group stages? I'm interested to see what Hearts have up their sleeve, because we do have disco lights now, so it'll be fun to see. Like the Undertaker, big Craig Halkett just coming out for the back, like fucking smoking everything.
See, I was going to give that reference. That's what I was meaning when the floodlights go off, and I was like, "Nah, I'll get ripped for that." So thanks.
That's fine, mate. Don't you worry. I'll take that bullet for you.
It comes up through one of the sprinkler heads,
and then injured enough straight away in Hearts fashion. Some transfer news. Obviously, we're linked with winger guy from Nottingham Forest. I know literally nothing about him to the point I didn't even know his name. So, anybody want to say anything about it or interested?
Alex Mighton. Alex Mighton sign. He might no sign. Who knows?
Hey, give you a big Gammon. Yeah. I don't know. But again, I don't know if Hearts just did it to wind everybody up, but they said that we're not in the market for a centre back, which I find baffling considering our shortcomings there. We need a striker. We need something different from Shankland and Boyce. A winger is probably the least of the areas of the park I'd be looking for, but I understand why. We've still got GMS in the team, so he's fucking worse than useless. So we'll need somebody to bring in.
To be fair, there has been chat he can play a central role as well.
Right.
I didn't really.
So can Gino apparently, but
didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. The boys played something like 24 games over the last like 2.5 years or something like that and scored 3 goals. It's not exactly going to be somebody you're going to be shit scared of. Let's put it that way.
Is Craig Levine back in the recruitment? That sounds like Danny Amankwa. Has he been injured for 3 years?
I think it's as long as that, but he's not exactly. He's not one of these players that you think, yes, this is what we're looking for. So I'm not.
That is true, but then you always have to go down the route that the market that Hearts and Hibs and Aberdeen etc. are shopping in. The chances of you getting a player that do make you go, oh yes, that's exactly the type of guy they're slimming on, isn't they? So everything's a punt, and luckily so far, our punts have worked out. Barry Mackay, Stephen Kingsley, etc. They've been superb. Benny, he'd be alone as well, wouldn't he?
Aye,
yeah. What I would say is the Forest fans they were the classic. My nan would score 20 goals in Scotland. They weren't happy that he was coming up to Scotland, so that might be a sign that they actually rate him quite highly.
I know what to come up and play 10 European games.
Aye.
When was the last time Nottingham Forest were in Europe? Probably when the last time they won the fucking European Cup or something.
Not far off that, mate.
Back in the 80s when my nan won the fucking Champions League. Pish. Obviously, we spoke there about the replacements or people coming in and the wider areas. Gino's stuff in the evening news, I was quite impressed with how he spoke. He obviously was quite candid in what he said in terms of, it doesn't fit into the system just now in terms of It's not where he's used to playing, and he has to be on his game, which is like great to hear because it's what we've wanted for ages and ages. Is the people on the bench. It's why Andy Halliday gets such a hard time, but Andy Halliday is like the perfect player to have in your team because he sits on the bench, probably fucking raging that he's not playing, but never causes a bother, doesn't talk up in the press. He's got hundreds of platforms where he could kick off and badmouth whatever's going on, but he doesn't. Gets on with it, good teammate, backs his team up, and whenever he's asked to come on and do something, at least gives you everything he's got. Gino is flatter to deceive. We've said that before. Since he's sort of signed permanently, he's had injury problems and he's come in and he's done well in glimpses and sort of anonymous and others. So it was good to hear him speak of his appetite to stay at the club, wasn't it?
It was interesting to hear him say that he's not looking for a move. I know that we've, as a club, said that if somebody comes in for him, we'll listen to him. But he's like, no, the setup of the team at the moment, this current sort of lineup doesn't suit his game, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. But the fact is, he does, I think, have the capability to adapt. I think the biggest problem is the fact that he's a player who does need regular first team football to be able to actually get to that particular point. And the fact that he's not getting that then becomes a bit of a barrier for him.
Aye, but I suppose if we were going to play devil's advocate, it's been a while since we went down that
one.
It's been a while since we went down that road. That he comes on in games late where teams are tired, defences are tired, games are stretched, games where you think the game is crying out for someone like Gino, get in behind, stretch them, run at them, be direct. And we didn't really see that. Like, we didn't really get enough of it from him. And that's what I think is like the worry. Look at the difference that, like, you bring Forrest and stuff on in the Zurich game. He's direct, he starts going at them, that's where he wants to go. Barry Mackay, when he came on in the Celtic game as well. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he gets the ball, his one thought is, go forward. Let's go forward. Let's see where we go. Plays to strengths. And I don't know if it's because sometimes we're maybe too tactical when we bring Gino on. We ask him to play in a position that's not his natural position. So he focuses more on playing the position rather than playing his game. So, we ask him to go play wide right, or we ask him to play in the 10, where he would maybe naturally drop into pockets and pick up the ball and do a trick or hit a shot. He's thinking, actually, I have to stay here. I have to be in this space because we play wing backs. If I didn't cover and I don't stand out here, they overload that side. It's maybe that's actually holding him back. But we do need to see more. We do need to see more from him because he's definitely got talent. So it's good to see and hear him saying that, he acknowledges that he probably has flattered to deceive, which is good. Any other headlines or anything that we wanted to talk about this week?
No.
Shall we talk about referees?
Well, it depends what route you want to go down, because
we're not arguing like Saturday.
Aye. Well, Robbie obviously made comments again, and I agree with the sentiment of Robbie's statements. I just didn't think there's no arguments with the two red cards in our game. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, you would, if you want to start arguing, you argue that Celtic made 25 tackles, committed 12 fouls, and had 0 cards. Hearts committed 15 tackles, made 12 fouls, and got 9 cards. Like, that's where it starts to get mental. And then when you actually start to focus on the type of team Celtic want to be, they're high press, aggressive, make contact, win the ball back as quickly as you possibly can. So you're naturally going to continuously foul. You're going to be making contact and stuff. For them to be able to have went through the 90 minutes and not get a card playing that style is annoying. When you start to then look at tinfoil hat stuff, Kevin Clancy's last 3 Celtic matches, he's issued 2 yellow cards to Celtic in all 3 games. 70 odd tackles between the 3 games, 2 yellow cards, and yet nearly 90% of our tackles on Sunday resulted in a booking. So the game wasn't decided by bookings and stuff. We had no shots on target, and we played our B team. Like, come on, we're never going to win. I understand what Robbie was saying, but probably Sunday wasn't the space to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's probably going to get in trouble for it too.
Good. I like that sort of stuff. And if I'm being honest with you, right, I know exactly what Robbie's doing, right? He's played the B team, he's played fringe players, he's played players that are potentially low in confidence, that haven't had a game, they've lost. He's taking the blame away from them. He's taking the heat away from them. He's highlighting something that happened in the game, putting pressure on the refs. It's exactly, this is what when I was talking to my Celtic mates, I laughed. Imagine next Sunday, whenever it is, Celtic versus Rangers. Rangers commit 25 fouls, tackles, 12 fouls, no cards. Celtic have 2 men sent off and 15 tackles, 12 fouls and 9 cards. Mate, we'd want the government to do a national inquiry into what had happened to them. Do you know what I mean? So I get what he was saying. I understand why he was doing it. The big talking points happened on the Saturday, if I'm being honest with you. I know we laughed, we joked about it and the thing with there, but they're tonight, what's it, Tuesday night, Rangers have had the John Lundstrom red card rescinded.
What did you say about it on Saturday?
I don't know, what did I say?
You said that was 100% a red card.
It's because I was bamming you up. Again, it's going to sound like a broken record when we said that, we spoke about it in here before. People in Scotland need to be very, very clear as to what VAR is going and not going to do. VAR is only going to be involved in clear and obvious errors. So you go through the Tav incident for the penalty. Again, for Hibs, I thought that was a penalty. If you're giving the Rangers penalty, you have to give the Hibs penalty. That's just the way it goes. But I don't think VAR would have got involved in that because it's not a clear and obvious error. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think VAR would have asked the ref to go look at it or awarded the penalty. And that, just like I don't think VAR would have rescinded the penalty that Rangers got. The big talking point comes from, and this is what we've said before, is Willie Collum, like Kevin Clancy, lost control of the game. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. If that game had went on 10 minutes longer, he would have sent a Hibs player off. He would, in his mind, it would have been like, I've made an arse at potentially with the Lundstrom hang or whatever. He would have went out to try and find something to balance the books or to bring it back in an even keel, if you know what I mean. We've seen it. What was the game? Was it Cali Thistle versus Arbroath? Was that the playoff game where Willie Collum was in charge and he just went bananas?
It's not the first time though, is it?
And
he's meant to be our best ref in Scotland.
Well, and he's the only ref that's ever been both sides have complained about in European football, which is absolutely spectacular.
I did see a tweet about that he's got a certain talent at refereeing a game and both teams think he's shite after it.
Exactly. But they were the talking points of the game, and I genuinely think VAR only would have been used once in that whole game, and it would have been the clear and obvious error would have been they wouldn't have sent Lundstrom off looking at the replay. That's the only thing I think VAR would have got involved in.
Aye, wholeheartedly.
I'm still not sure about the penalty personally, but we'll disagree on that one.
What for Hibs or the one that Rangers got?
The one Rangers got.
I think the guy's just been clever. I think the guy's been really clever, and I think there's an element of that we need to be a little bit more up to speed with, especially as we're going to be playing European football, is just be that wee bit smarter where there is a wee tug or a wee pull and maybe make a bit of it. Just didn't make it obvious.
I actually don't think there's anything controversial about it. He doesn't have to be going to get the ball. He went to go get it. The Hibs guy doesn't have to pull him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As a foul, he does pull him, he does put his hands on him, but it doesn't matter how easily he went down. It was just a stupid thing to do. Wasn't going anywhere. David Marshall was getting it. He wasn't going to get in and score. Just leave him. The fact that his reaction to it, like, if it was the injustice that we thought it was or whatever, they'd have been furious. Like, do you know what I mean? He was kind of like, fuck, I made a bit of dick of that type thing. But
the worst decision of the weekend was that meaningless game at Livy. Were you there, Tam?
It was in Dundee, mate.
Was it that Dundee and Motherwell? You mean? Anyway,
Dundee that's in Motherwell. Aye.
Oh fuck!
The
Who were
Motherwell
Liverpool
Livy game. The Motherwell Livy game.
Oh, shit.
The ball is nowhere near the boy's arm. The referee gives a penalty. It's
Actually, I don't even know what you're talking
farcical. It was. I seen that one on Saturday night. The ball bounces up off the boy's chest and goes out for a corner, and next thing you know, the referee's giving it as a penalty. That was one of the worst decisions I've seen for a long time. And the kind of thing that's saying something given the fact of some of the refereeing decisions and cases we've had at Tynecastle in the last couple of seasons.
Right. He gave it something. We got an offside against us for a goal kick.
Aye, that was on Sunday.
Not even a thing.
Like, what? Like, what's that all about, sir? But again, we'll go back to it at the start. How on earth can you bring VAR in after a round of fixtures? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be carnage. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Rangers, so they've had the red card rescinded now, do they hold out with 10 men and win 2-1?
Probably do.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Hibs score a decent goal with a minute to go, but they never really created clear-cut chances, even when Rangers were down to 9. Like, do you know what I mean? So you got to look at that and think, how's that fair? And I can't stop laughing at the fact that we're going to have like Nokia 3210 cameras deciding whether or no somebody's offside. It's just going to be absolute carnage, which is going to be funny. Right. We talk about Dundee United first because it was a game of strange halves.
Very.
Score what after 41 seconds? Oh, Ando's not here. Shankland again scoring, as Shankland does, as I said he would, scoring after 41 seconds, and then for 10 minutes absolutely batter them should be 3 or 4 up within 10 minutes, to then minute 10 to minute 45 playing absolute shite. Lucky to be 1 up going in at half time, and then from minute 45 to 90 batter them again.
Yep. Sums it up pretty well.
It was actually quite similar to the game last season when we beat them 5-2. The only difference is at the real peak of this first half, Gordon's made a cracking save. Is it the boy Edwards? He's had a long-range one, which he did in the same game last season.
Canada, didn't he?
Aye, and it went in. So it was just those little those elements. And again, from that point of view, I thought we played some really good football. We looked on the ball. The ball was moving at speed. They had everything, but then you get to that last third, and there was a lot of too many touches. You're getting frustrated in the stands because just shoot, for God's sake, we're no Brazil, we're no Barcelona, we're no Brazil, whatever, to try and actually walk the ball in the net. And sometimes you just need somebody to pull the trigger. That was my
and then guess what happened with the next goal, to be fair.
Correct.
Well, the thing,
exactly that.
Not to go back to spilled milk like we just spoke about there, but they get a penalty. It's not a penalty, right? We're 3 up, cruising. They get a penalty to make it 3-1. It's never a penalty, right? It's not even near a penalty. Craig Gordon has to make pretty much a wonder save to keep it 3-1. That goes to 3-2, and suddenly the last 5-10 minutes of that game are fucking twitchy arse time in a game that we should never have been in trouble with. And then we run up the park and score to make it 4-1 when the guy's a fucking mile offside. Like, it's just silly. Back to the VAR thing that we were talking about there is the refs. We need full-time refs before we need VAR.
Yeah.
I'm a massive advocate of VAR. I think it's needed. We have to be ahead of the times. The game up here is already devalued and laughed at, etc. We can't be left behind with VAR, but we also can't have fell off the back of a van VAR, because it's just going to be fucking embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the incompetency of the refs that we have already because they're part-time. Now give them technology and watch them make a bigger arse of it than they already do right now.
Yep.
The games, right? Oh, that's all the positive stuff to talk about, isn't it? Zurich. We want to talk about Zurich first away?
Yeah. I don't think we'll have time left to talk about Celtic, so just draw this out.
We said at the start of the season we weren't going to talk about the ladies' team or the B team, so there's no point in even talking about fucking Sunday v Celtic. Who gives a fuck? Zurich. I started to get nervous about the game. I said it in a group chat when we started to do the pressers. Not only because Hearts have showed up wearing fucking multicoloured sweatshop fucking hodgepodge training kits for the open training session, like we're Muirston United under 8s. How can we not coordinate who's wearing what? How can we be a professional football team and have some people wearing the new training top, other people wearing polo tops, some people wearing black shorts, other folk wearing blue shorts? I was like, what are you doing? What is happening here? Like, how can we not be professional and just show up wearing the same gear? But when I started listening to Craig Gordon and then listened to Robbie Nielsen, it was no surprise when we seen the crazy sort of 4-5-1 or 4-4-1-1 or whatever the formation was for the start of the game v Zurich, with it being ultra defensive, there for a narrow defeat or a draw. Which, as the game went on, my frustration grew because, and this might come back to bite us in the ass and probably will in true fashion, but I didn't think they were great. I didn't think we needed to be as cautious. I know, Kev, Ken. We've got to do it. We're on the internet. You've
already deleted one tweet this week, man.
You've got to take a punt, didn't we? But I didn't think they were great, and we showed them way too much respect, in my opinion. Yep. And we paid the price for it.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I think the fact as well of not having Halkett and him going off after 6-7 minutes didn't help matters, especially when you consider both goals that we conceded could have been quite easily cut out just with having a bit of
what? An ability to header the ball, is that?
Well, a bit of strength as well. Of just getting your body in there, and as you rightly say, getting your head on it. Halkett's shown that over the last 6 months, since the turn of the year when he came back. I know he was then out and before the cup final, but that period when we all had a bit of a laugh about the fact that he came back from injury and the championship season and looked like he'd put on weight. That's not been the case in the last, this pre-season. He came back, first few games he looked probably as best as he has done in a Hearts shirt, and it's just a shame that we've lost him, and probably the most important game of the season so far. As I say, I don't expect him to see him on Thursday night, but we hope he can get back sooner rather than later.
Aye, and I think the frustration came for me anyway, Tam, with the Halkett thing was that Mickey Smith sitting on the bench. Like, we didn't have to go down the route that we went. Like, Rouse has been brilliant for us. Like, superb. Most interceptions in the league, most tackles in the league. Played him fucking left back. Like, what are we doing? What have we done that for? Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure about that.
It was just
just the back left the back three.
We can argue about it, but there was a simple solution there, and again, that's what the frustration was. And again, we've moaned about Toby Sibbick, right? And I've said before that he's a bomb scare, right? He needs to either wisen up or he needs to stop playing in that position and play in the Haring role or something where we know that he can play. But we're fast making him a scapegoat because he's nowhere near as bad as some people like to make it. He's wobbly when he first comes on, but he grows into matches and actually turns it today no too bad. I didn't think Toby Sibbick was the worst player in the park on Thursday in Zurich, if I'm being honest with you.
But he was actually quite decent when he came on it, when he went to right back as well.
Aye. Yep. I thought so too. And the thing that
what's Nielsen up to? Not Robbie. Lewis, he's also on the bench. Surely, as a right centre back, we'll give him a try.
I think that he's one for next year, isn't he? I think
being held off.
I think he's one to bring in and embed or whatever. But I'm with you. He's there. He can play the game. I just felt we got the shape wrong. I know we score, we get a penalty, we actually were doing okay at that point or whatever. But the shape, the way we played, the fact that Forrest wasn't on, we took Boyce out, etc. Like, Boyce doesn't score loads of goals in terms of from that position, but every time they put the ball up, their defenders won it and it dropped straight into the midfield. Boyce would have been in the 10, would have been in there and around there, is a good somebody just to even harry the ball, chase the ball down, because it was zipping around and we just were, we just seemed way too cautious, which is fine. Like, you look at it now, we're sitting here. Would we have took 2-1 before the game? Absolutely. Like, do you know what I mean? Of course you would have. There's no away goals rule now. Bring them back to Tynecastle. We've got the measure of them. We've seen what they're all about. But we need a Craig Gordon wonder save in the dying seconds to make the game still alive. Because if it's 3-1, you have to win 2 or 3-0 at home, which is a big ask. So it was just really disappointing. I don't know if it was the atmosphere or whatever, but it was really disappointing. Then you start to calm down and be like, well, actually, it's our first game in Europe in however long. It's only 2-1. We're away from home. It was pissing with rain. Like, if you go through, and I've said before, and I said it on Twitter, everything that happened last Thursday, it pays off if you win this Thursday. Like, it's fine. Yep. You can go with that uber cautious approach. You can go with not to get beat, or if you do only get beat by a few, or a one, and then bring them home and batter them. So what I expect to see on Thursday is almost George Burley-esque, just blow them away, like, as quickly as possible, get the crowd engaged, because if we start slow and want to grow into the game, they'll go through comfortably. I don't see us like getting the result that we want. Any other thoughts on the game on Thursday? The away game?
The away game, no. I think the biggest call out for me is the ability of Rose. Thought Kai's played so well in the games that he's appeared in so far. And yes, Tam, I got his name right there.
Yeah. You knew I was going to say it.
I can see you actually there. So up yours.
Aye, he's been very impressive, to be honest with you. I thought, Shankland was brilliant. Gets his goal, but his all round play has been superb. I think when him, Forrest, Boyce, and Mackay sort of gel, Grant starts to gel with them, and they start to be able to pick his runs and get the ball to him, like, that he's going to score goals. Like, we already know that. We've seen everything about him, all the good stuff about him now already. So that was a bit of a positive as well for me. I thought he played well, and it's great to see Stephen Kingsley play in any Hearts team, which is great.
It's a shame that that Shankland scored that many goals that Ando can't make the pod this week.
No, mate, if he keeps scoring, we didn't have to talk to Ando. Fucking brilliant. Like, keep that going. Shanks, you just keep scoring the goals. This Thursday, what's your team? Talk me through it. We'll go around the table. Tell me your team, what formation you're playing, what's your tactics?
4-2-3-1 for me.
Who plays?
You go. The back four's tough, but I would go Smith, Rose, Kingsley, Cochrane.
So you're dropping Stewart?
Oh, fuck
after his fucking heroic.
No, I'm not even talking about the keeper, just because it's obvious. Keep him in, man. See if it does come a Thursday, and that's the start.
I'll be absolutely
Craig Gordon still has back spasm.
Right.
Centre of the park's tough for me.
What did you say it was your back four?
It was Smith, Rose, Kingsley, and Cochrane, which is very left-sided, but we don't have a right centre back at the moment if Halkett is out for me. Then you're going. It's tough. I don't want to drop him, but Haring was. I'm going to go for him, but he was anonymous last week. He was not in it. Bad go Grant Devlin. Then Forrest, Boyce, Mackay, and obviously Shankland.
Kev?
That'll be my team.
I'm not going to disagree with that front four. I don't know about Grant in that position of being the sort of a part of a sort of defensive midfield as such. I think he wants to get forward. I think we've seen it in the Ross County game where he wants to take the ball and move forward with it rather than just break things up and play the ball to others. And I think Haring, for all that he had a bad game on Thursday night, I thought he played well for a lot of the game on Sunday when we were looking to break things up and looking to to maybe move the ball. So I would still probably stick with at this moment in time anyway. I would stick with a back four of, and then this is where I'm changing it, is go with Halliday at right back, Mikey Smith, Rowles and Kingsley. And then that way I'm dropping Cochrane onto the bench.
Okay.
For what reason?
Just simply from the point of view that I think we need to be. I know you've just said it there just now about having a back four which is so left-sided, i.e. Rowles, Kingsley and Cochrane, along with Mikey Smith. I think in fact you move Mike Smith into the right centre back and you bring Halliday in at right back. I think that makes it just a bit more balanced, Tam. It's as simple as that, mate.
Who's left-footed, but that's okay. That's fine.
He's not. I don't think he's solely left-footed. I think he's actually pretty two-footed, to be truthfully honest. Sure, I've seen him going in with a couple of two-footeds in a couple of challenges. Anyway, another story.
Do you want my...
Go on, Corbett, tell us.
Do you want my head thing? My head.
There's a head and a heart. Yeah.
Aye. My head is he'll play the exact same formation that he played away from home. I think we'll see pretty much the exact same team. I think we'll see Rowles, Sibbick and Kingsley as a back three. I think we'll see Haring and Devlin in the middle of the park. We'll say Cochrane one side, Smith on the other. I think we'll play Mackay and Grant behind Shankland. Play 3-4-3, exact same type of formation that we played over there. And we'll have the same tactic. Try and grow into the game. It's just a Robbie Nielsen thing, isn't it?
Right.
It's
thanks for the personals, Corbett.
Mate, I hope I'm wrong. Saying? I genuinely hope I'm wrong, because if we do that, I can't see us scoring enough goals. I just can't. I can't see us not conceding goals either. I think that they'll do what they did at home, but they played an away game basically at home as well, and I think they'll go long. I think we've conceded the Ross County from a long ball over the top. We've conceded 2 goals basically for them, or definitely one from them that was a long ball over the top. I think they'll target that, but I think Robbie will stick with what we did, because I think he'll think that we probably could have got something over in Zurich by doing so. I would like to see 4-2-3-1. I'd like to see Gordon and goals, obviously. Smith at right back, Rowles and Kingsley and Cochrane at left back. I would play Devlin and Grant in the middle of the park. I'd play Mackay, Forrest and Boyce, and I'd play Shankland up front.
I'm glad we agree.
Is what I would like.
Cheesy goals, Tom.
Oh, aye. Shit. Sorry.
I know. Actually, I'm going to call it, because fucking some podcasts have absolutely battered him. It's embarrassing for them. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves, because he was superb on Sunday.
It's like they even called an episode that cheesy.
Again, embarrassing. You should hang your heads in shame. That's a young guy just trying to make a career for himself. You're trying to run him out of town.
What's his save percentage now? Do you know?
Mate, I've got to put that spreadsheet in the bin, haven't we? Well, let's not get too hangry. They did concede 2 goals. Still never kept a competitive clean sheet for Hearts. But never mind. We'll not kick him down, because he was very good. Aye, till Thursday night. Scores the winning penalty as well. Comes right up to section G and fucking batters me. Right, let's go round the table then. Give your predictions for the big game on Thursday. Tam, what are you saying?
I don't want to. 2-1 full time, 3-1 extra time.
Zurich or Hearts?
Hearts.
Kev?
I think we'll be 2-0. Play with a back four. If we don't play with a back four, it'll be 2-1, as Tam said.
I'm Desmond, 2 each. And it'll be 2-2 draw. We'll be 2-1 down, get it to 2 each, and then it'll be the happy-go-lucky, unlucky, proud of the boys story because we tried really hard for the last 10 minutes but just couldn't score.
It's like you've seen this story before.
Aye, the typical Heart story. But again, it's like in my head, for every one of them I have George Burley opening 25 minutes where we're 4-0 up. Like, just go for it, man. Who cares? Like,
it's like you said the other week there. It's a free hit, isn't it?
Aye, it is, and that's what annoys me. I got to stick.
I don't think it is now. That's the thing.
I still think it is.
You've seen them play.
Aye, and they're shite.
Exactly.
And they're shite. Like, we prepared for some European giant, and they were rubbish. Yeah, I think what works in their favour is the fact that they didn't play a game this weekend, didn't they? No, they got the week.
They played a cup game with like League 2 side or something.
Aye.
So
I just think that we're 90 minutes away from Europa League. We know we're definitely, no matter the result, if we get beat, just go for it. Like, do you know what I mean? Tynecastle will be absolutely rocking. You have to engage the fans straight away. Like, if we get an early goal, the place will be absolutely bouncing. Like, it'll be outrageous. If we let them have the ball and start to pass it about or whatever, it'll just suck the life out of the whole thing. They'll come probably to frustrate, play very similar to how they played on Thursday, as I said, hit us on the counter, try long balls, etc. So we've got to be combative for that and just get tore in because they're shite.
Another Shankland goal after 41 seconds is ideal, wouldn't it?
Mate, that would be the dream.
Hopefully, though, because then we'll just no play for half an hour of the game.
I want that. Try and see it out already. See it out for extra time. But that's the thing. Like, I got pure pelters for it, and I get it. I was annoyed. I was pissed off, and I called him fucking Poundland Pep because that's what Robbie does. But it is one of the things that we've said 100 times before. It is his kryptonite. It's his default thing where he just tinkers and overthinks things and tries to be too tactical, etc., when sometimes you just have to let the players off the leash and just say, look, just go for it, man. Just go express yourself. Look at what we did in the Scottish Cup final. That's what happens when we try and play tactical, play the emotions, take the sting out of the game, grow into games. Fuck that. 5-2 versus Dundee United. Just go for it, man. Just go for it. Let them do what they want to do. Be disciplined at the back and just go for it. That was almost a Neil Warnock quote there, wasn't it? You've got to enjoy yourself, but for fuck's sake, be disciplined. Right, we're not talking about the Celtic game because it was shite, so fuck that. We even bother with St Johnstone game. I couldn't give a shit about St Johnstone game either, I'm not going to lie. So let's get back to...
Let's just do predictions. 5-0 each. Sound. See you later.
Let's do keep it up a challenge with Kev.
Keep it up a challenge with Kev, right? Aye. No worries. I like how the fact you've given it 3 different names in the one episode. Thanks, Mike.
Next week it'll be called In the Bin because it'll be getting binned, but it's fine.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, I get that.
Appreciate it. So, 2 players, just certain 1 word per one, 4 single words per player. I got that wrong. The first one was Lanark, keeper, Hall of Fame and 700 appearances, if that makes you feel better, Tam. Who is the player? One, Tam.
Henry Smith.
Henry Smith, exactly. Born in Lanark, was a goalkeeper, is a member of the Hall of Fame and 700 appearances for the famous. And the second one was Melbourne, your hero. Did you buy that goalkeeper top?
No, it's an abomination.
The second one was Melbourne, Big Slim, the Whites, and South Korea. A slightly bit tougher, but the MD get it. Tom?
I think Corbett's right with the Big Slim. Dave McPherson, right?
Nope.
Well, I was thinking, so if the Big Slim, then it's going to be somebody daft like Ryan McGowan or something like that because he's his agent or something, wasn't he?
You're not far off, mate. You're not far off.
Was it Dylan then?
No, not that close. But you're thinking the right lines.
Paddy Kersnorbo.
Correct, Paddy Kersnorbo. So born in Melbourne, big slim. It was him that recommended him to the club.
Yep.
The whites was the fact that he went and played for Leeds United, and South Korea was the team he had his first international cap against.
Fucking brilliant, mate.
So there you go. A little bit of insight into players as well as Tam. If you put them all together, your knowledge of this team will be incredible.
And that's basically who am I thinking of, to be fair. But fine.
We just renamed something, to be fair. It's all good.
Aye. It was not bad. Right. That's pretty much it. Sees at the Shandon on Thursday.
You can tell we're nervous. We've only done an hour. Like, that's unheard of.
It is nervous. But it's a good nervous. Let's be honest. You'd rather be like this than shitting yourself and thinking, "Oh my God, club's going to go into ruin and financially."
I'm too excited.
You could be a Dundee United fan at the moment, couldn't you?
I'm too excited just because I can think of how annoying I'm going to be on Twitter if we make it through. That's all I want. I'm not even going to lie. My dream is that we make it through to Europe past Christmas, so that I can tweet every single Hibs fan that said, "We've played 10 games in Europe since the last time you've played in Europe." And I can tweet them and say, "We played fucking 10 games in Europe this fucking season. So get it fucking round you." So, but that's the dream. So we need to make sure we get through on Thursday so that I have got Twitter ammo.
And the blue tick.
Well, that's fine now. My hair's looking good, so that the blue tick is on its way soon. Actually, that's just reminded me, looking good. We've got merch, so we'll try and get some pictures of our new merch range. I was sporting it on Thursday, but I was fucking wringing with sweat after about 25 minutes. So don't judge the t-shirt and my sweaty tip marks. Like, it was outrageous.
That t-shirt had to go in the bin, surely.
It's been burned and put in the bin. We've got free designs of t-shirts. We're going to have free bucket hats as well. We'll put them on social media, pre-order them. If you want them, we'll send them out to you, etc. We've tried to, a bit like our logo, where we obviously, the This Is My Story logo is based on the old Admiral logo. The range is sort of the Gorgie range. It says Gorgie on it, or it'll say Gorgie Rules on it. And it's either old retro ASICS style writing, or it's an old Umbro style writing. We're hoping to have sort of t-shirts and hats, training tops, etc. So when we have more information on it, we'll let you know. Right, boys. Shandon, Thursday. Bring the pyro. Let's get the party started. Oh, what a night. Watching
don't stop the
party on a Thursday night. Right, let's go.
Can't wait.
Let's get out of here. Right, boys. See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Gorgie Rules.